the Enchanted Chalkboard. Lena doodled absent-mindedly on her sketchpad as the new art teacher, Mrs. Jackson, introduced herself to the class. The teacher's warm smile and bright, colourful outfit immediately caught Lena's attention. "So, I found this old chalkboard while setting up the classroom," Mrs. Jackson said, gesturing toward a dusty blackboard in the corner. "I thought it might be fun to incorporate it into our first project." The students exchanged glances, puzzled by the thought of using an old-fashioned chalkboard. However, Mrs. Jackson's enthusiasm was contagious, and they couldn't help but feel excited. "Today, we'll each draw something on the chalkboard, and then we'll discuss our creations as a group," Mrs. Jackson explained. "Feel free to use any of the colored chalk in the bucket." Lena approached the chalkboard with a grin, eager to draw something special. Her hand moved swiftly, leaving a trail of vibrant colors as she sketched an intricate castle surrounded by a lush forest. Her best friend Ravi drew a flying car zooming through the sky, while their classmate, Maria, depicted a breathtaking underwater scene. When it was time for the class to gather around the chalkboard, Lena noticed something strange happening. The drawings seemed to shimmer, as if they were coming to life. The students exchanged stunned glances, and before they knew it, the room began to spin. Lena, Ravi, and Maria found themselves standing in the middle of Lena's castle courtyard. They gaped at the towering spires and fluttering banners in awe. The three friends, along with the rest of their classmates, had been transported into the world of their drawing. "Wow! What just happened?" Ravi stammered, still clutching his piece of chalk. "I'm not sure," Lena replied, her eyes wide with wonder, "but I think our drawings on the chalkboard brought us here." As they explored the castle, Lena, Ravi, and Maria met characters from their classmates' drawings as well. There were magical creatures, valiant knights, and even a talking cat who claimed to be an enchanted prince. But their amazement was short-lived. They soon discovered that the kingdom was in danger. A terrible dragon, drawn by one of their classmates, was terrorizing the land, and it was up to them to save it. Lena, Ravi, and Maria devised a plan. They would use their artistic skills to create weapons and tools to defeat the dragon. The talking cat, who introduced himself as Prince Felix, offered his assistance, guiding them through the enchanted forest toward the dragon's lair. As they ventured deeper into the forest, the trio relied on their creativity and quick thinking to overcome various obstacles. They drew a bridge to cross a chasm, created a shield to deflect the arrows of enchanted trees, and even sketched a makeshift raft to navigate a raging river. Finally, they reached the dragon's lair. The beast was enormous, its scales glistening like emerald armor, and its fiery breath turning the air around it into a blistering inferno. Lena, Ravi, and Maria, along with Prince Felix, huddled together trying to come up with a plan. Suddenly, Maria had an idea. "What if we draw something that the dragon will love?" she suggested. "Something that will make it happy, so it won't want to destroy the kingdom anymore." The others agreed, and together they sketched an enormous treasure chest filled with glistening gems and gold. The dragon, entranced by the sight, stopped its rampage and curled up protectively around the treasure. With the dragon pacified, Lena, Ravi, and Maria returned to the castle, their hearts pounding with excitement. Prince Felix accompanied them, grateful for their help in saving the kingdom. Once they arrived at the castle, Lena suddenly remembered the enchanted chalkboard. She shared her thoughts with her friends, and they all agreed that the chalkboard might hold the key to returning home. "We should try drawing a door back to our classroom," Ravi suggested. Maria nodded in agreement. "It's worth a try. After all, our drawings brought us here in the first place." Lena took a deep breath and drew a door on the castle wall with her chalk. The door shimmered and sparkled, and it slowly opened, revealing their art classroom on the other side. "Thank you for your help," Prince Felix said, his eyes filled with gratitude. "You are always welcome in our kingdom." Lena, Ravi, and Maria stepped through the door, and as it closed behind them, the chalkboard's magic seemed to dissipate. The classroom returned to normal, and their classmates looked around, dazed and confused. Mrs. Jackson, who had watched the events unfold, smiled knowingly. "Well, that was quite the adventure, wasn't it? You know, creativity can open doors to new worlds and experiences." As the class discussed their extraordinary journey, Lena, Ravi, and Maria exchanged glances, a newfound appreciation for their teacher. Mrs. Jackson had always encouraged them to explore their creativity, and it was through her guidance that they had discovered the enchanted chalkboard. "I never realized how much our art teacher does for us," Maria whispered to Lena and Ravi. "She's always been there, nurturing our imagination." Ravi nodded in agreement. "Yeah, I don't think I've ever appreciated her as much as I do now. I'm glad we had this experience to see how important she is to us." Lena looked over at Mrs. Jackson, who was helping another student with their drawing. "We should do something special for her, to show her how much we care." The three friends spent the rest of the day planning a surprise party for Mrs. Jackson. They enlisted the help of their classmates and even asked Prince Felix to send a message from the magical kingdom expressing their gratitude. On the day of the party, Mrs. Jackson walked into the classroom, her eyes widening in surprise as everyone shouted, "Happy Teacher Appreciation Day!" Touched by the gesture, she smiled warmly at her students, especially Lena, Ravi, and Maria, who knew that their lives had been forever changed by the enchanted chalkboard and their extraordinary teacher. The end.